So we're not going to just have it type one email. We're going to set it as a variable, and the variable can change, and we can do a lot more things with that variable. So let's go here, type text, double click on that, and we're not going to do a variable. We're going to insert a variable, and we'll have to create that at the beginning. So we're going to go here, we're going to hit stop on the bot for now, and on the right you'll see a resource. So resource and variable are very similar. So a resource is something that you set at the beginning of the bot. So if the resource is a text file, it may take elements from the text file. If the resource is a CSV or an Excel sheet, you could have the bot go to the Excel sheet and take line 1 and then go to line 2. So the resource is something you set at the beginning of the bot that the bot can then interact with different files and lists that you want to give the bot depending on your needs. So for this case, we're going to set a resource for email. We're going to set a resource for passwords, and we're going to set a couple other resources here that we may need in the future. So let's go ahead and make a couple resources that we might need. So the first one here is email, and I'm going to check the type of resource. So a fixed string is something you type in once and it constantly uses the same thing, but we're not going to do that. We're going to do lines from a file. So at the beginning we're going to have a text file with our email, and that way if you want to add more emails to the text file, it'll go to each line in the text file and grab each email. It's a little more versatile for our bot. We want to make sure our bot is, we make a good bot here. So we're going to use lines from a file. That's what we're going to use, okay? So lines from a file, only read and delete, depending on what you want. Some bots, you want it to take one line, use it once, and then delete that line, and use the next line once and delete that line. But here, we're going to do only read, and I'm even going to throw in mixed lines in here, so that it may take the first line, then it may take the fifth line, then it may jump back to the third. It's mixing up the lines in a file. It's randomizing the lines in a file, which I find is going to be good for our bot. So only read, we're going to click next. Use each line one time. So as the bot is going, it's only going to use the line one time, and then use a different line. And it's going to try to use each line at least once and constantly change the line that we're going to use. So it's all going to come together. If you're not understanding, just follow along and we'll get there. So use each line one time, hit next, finish, and great. We've created a resource for email. Now I'm going to do one for password. Again, lines from a file, only read, and mix the lines. I don't think so, not this time. You can use each line several times. Does that make sense? Use each line one time. Okay. And how about this? How about a comment list? Okay. And that's going to be lines from a file, read, and we're going to mix those lines. So every time it does a comment, it's going to reach for a new comment. So we can actually diversify our comments. We're not constantly spamming the same comment multiple times. You're going to mix that up. Okay. Hit next, use each line one time, sure, why not? Or use each line several times. I don't think it's an issue when it comes to commenting, as long as it's being mixed, but then if it's used all the comments, it will then start again and use another random one instead of, so allowing it to reuse the line, it allows almost to run indefinitely at that point, even if we've done 100 comments, 1,000 comments. So what's another resource that we might need here? So we have our comment list, our liking. How about a video list? You never know if we might need that. We're going to type video list, again, lines from a file, only read, mix the lines, use each line one time. I think we can use each line several times, no problem. Next, finish. And you guys can customize this how you want, but yeah, that's good enough. We've created a couple resources here, and now we're going to go back to our bot. We're going to go back, click record, and now it's going to ask you to fill in this information here. So we're going to go ahead, fill in our email. So it's going to be test@gmail.com, and the password. So this would be the password to that email. We're actually going to code the bot to log in to the email automatically. There's a couple ways that we can do it, but right now I'm going to show you how to automate the login and go from there. The comment list, let's go ahead and get a comment list made really quickly here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a text file.